day 2. I lost 9 seconds to Christian in the grass track. He's really fast in the grass track, so I'm going to make my time up here in the woods. I'm going to give him a 15-second start. Might catch some of these 150 guys. And, yeah.
What's going on, guys? So in this video, this is the 4th test of the enduro section of this weekend. This guy in front of me was a beginner. This was like his first race. That should have been my foresight to what's to come in this video. But going into this, me and Christian had a really good battle going the entire weekend. We were just 5 to 10 seconds off of each other in overall times.
He's gonna give them 2 minutes.
He was really fast on the grass track. He made up 10 seconds on me. So going into this test, I was 5 seconds behind him. So going in here, I know that I had to be on my P's and Q's. I needed to hit my marks, no mistakes. I knew that I was faster than him in the woods, but you know, I didn't know what's to come. This is the 4th test. The woods are getting rougher and rougher with every test that goes through the weekend. And yeah, so what's to come in the video? You know, I crashed twice, and I managed to finish like 1 second behind Christian. I just pushed because I knew I needed to secure the deal here, so let Christian take off, get our bearings straight. Going in, the suspension compared to last weekend, I sent my suspension back to HDR and had them revalved it for the woods. Overall, it worked out great. I didn't make one suspension change this entire weekend. These conditions were absolutely brutal. All of the roots that accumulated from people riding on the same path all day or all weekend were nuts. You'll see later in the video the roots take me out. Somehow a tree jumped out in front of the dude in front of me. Stuff just gets crazy. But yeah, I mean, HDR really hooked it up with the suspension. I'm working on a vlog for this weekend. I've never really edited a woods racing vlog, so that's something that I'm gonna have to learn how to do. So it's gonna take me a minute. A bunch of good content from my dad, my girlfriend Elise, and myself. It's just really hard to mash up a whole weekend of racing into 10 minutes. So that's something I'm going to figure out in the coming days. But back to the vlog, or back to this race segment. Really my mindset is just to stay consistent, hit all my marks, and don't make any risky decisions, and hopefully get around some of the 150 beginners in front of me. I'm in bet C on this race. With our outcome and positioning this weekend, I did learn that I need to go bet B next time. But the top 3 to 4 guys in bet C are all fast enough to be in bet B. So we had a good little challenge or competition amongst us in the top 5, and it made out for a pretty exciting weekend. Because one person would have challenge in one test, and the other would succeed and do well. And we were all within 15 to 20 seconds of each other, which honestly is just one mistake. One mistake would have, thrown any of our weekends or our standings for the weekend. Definitely need to invest in a G2, which I have bought. Waiting for it to come in, so I have invested in it. Need to install the G2. I'm going to try out a 15% cam to stock ratio first. Just the stock moto cam on some of this really square edge stuff. I feel like I could be faster if it wasn't so twitchy, because with the twitch, when you hit this square edge stuff, you get blips, and blips make you overcorrect and go in directions you didn't exactly intend to go in. So if I could get something just to moderate and level that out, I do feel I can pick up some time. So I caught up to the guy that almost fell over at the start, and here I think he's going to go left, so I'm going right, and I'm going to go right coming up, and then all of a sudden he just stops.
Pay attention to what you're doing!
I don't know how he hit the tree. I don't know if he can't. I hear me coming up behind him and he got startled, but he hit the tree. Here's the guy that started behind me that I'm, only 5 seconds ahead of. And I'm like, shoot. Now I really gotta get after it. So I turn it up here. I'm like, I gotta put a gap between me and this guy, because then I'm gonna go down to third. So we put the afterburners on here, and we kick it into overdrive. And with that, we catch up to Christian here in the next couple minutes. These sprint races, like, when you think about it, you're like, oh, it's a short point A to point B race, but you're pushing at 120% because it's a sprint, and you have 12 of these tests, 6 on day 1, 6 on day 2, and the courses get rougher and rougher with no prep. So your body, like, as much as the video doesn't show that it's rough, this stuff gets really rough. I mean, I'm running a GoPro Hero 12 with, hypercam or hyperview and some settings and stabilization, so you really don't get the aspect of how rough it is. But this stuff is really rough. It wears you out. Right now, I mean, I'm already fatigued. My shoulders are shot, and even though the suspension is great, this stuff is rough. If you've never done a SXCS or Sprint Enduro style race, you should definitely try it out. It's something pretty cool. So I've caught up to Christian. I can kind of see him through the woods here, and I know I'm making up time. Whenever I see somebody in front of me, I really something just clicks, and I turn it up a couple notches. And basically, I'm just like, I gotta catch the guy in front of me. Like, that's just what I gotta do. So I know I put on some gap on the KTM guy behind me. Now my goal is to pass Christian. So that's what I'm aiming to do here. And I know he can hear me coming up behind him. The stock YZ250F is god-awful loud, which part of me doesn't want to take the exhaust off, because then I don't have to yell or rev my motor to let somebody know I'm behind them. I mean, they can hear me coming up, so it's almost like a microphone in its own sense. Which is another advantage, because when you're doing these sprint races or any kind of woods racing, if somebody's coming up behind you, part of your mind just is like, I don't want to get past, let me push harder. And when people are fatigued, they naturally want to push because they don't want to be passed, and they're more likely to make a mistake. So it's kind of an advantage in its own way. Me trying to take an alternate line cost me some time, but live and you learn. My dad recording right there. And the roots. Coming up a hill sideways with roots that have been uncovered throughout the weekend on test 4. I think, no, yeah, we're on test 4 now. Just couldn't manage it. Fortunately, I was able to pick up the bike. I was like 5 or 6 seconds down, and we hit the nitrous button to catch back up to Christian here. Because if I can catch up to Christian, I know that I'm making time on the guy behind me, and I know that I'm making time on Christian to get back into first position for the next test. So as long as I finish behind Christian, I know that because I started like 10 to 15 seconds behind Christian, so as long as I finish right behind him, I know that I made up the 10 seconds that I lost in the cross test.
Dude.
All in all, I'm going to post a cross test 3, and I'm going to work on some vlog footage for this whole weekend. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed that short little sprint, and there'll be more woods racing to come in the following days. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.